Good afternoon. Welcome to Afternoon Chat. It's Friday. The chat's up and running. How's everybody doing today? Hey, Fridays, it always comes unglued on this show. I don't know why. But for some reason, more people seem to find us on Fridays. What do you guys got going on? Weekend plans, Christmas parties, last minute shopping? What are you guys doing? Afternoon Chat, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A free show. No midstream ads, no sponsors, no commercials of any kind. An open chat. No set topics. It's not scripted at all. The people in the chat are the actual guest stars of this show. They determine what we talk about, not me. Football season starting to wind down. My Lions will be playing on, not my Lions. The Lions that I am a fan of will be playing on Sunday at 4:25. They need to win. They've painted themselves into a corner. They actually need to win out, and they need a couple other teams to lose games. That's the only way they get to the playoffs. They're behind a rock in a hard place. I'm not saying they can't put a string of victories together. I am saying that they have to. Just a reminder, next Thursday, there will be no afternoon chat. I'm taking the day off. It's Christmas Day, so I will not be having a podcast. Hopefully, the Lions will win out, and I'll be happy. But the day after Christmas, the Friday, the show will be back on the air. And if the Lions lose, I don't know. I could be in a bad mood. Who knows? It's not a threat. I really like NFL football, the Detroit Lions. It's just the way I feel. When they win, I'm generally happy. When they lose, I'm generally not. So what do you guys want to talk about today? I'll give you some topics. How about the Epstein Ballroom? Yes, today's the 19th. Yes, I'm expecting the Trump regime to let us down again today. I don't think they're going to release all the documents. I don't think they're going to be transparent or legit. Between the Epstein papers and the Epstein Ballroom, and let's throw a third one in the mix. How about the fake data that they're releasing on the economy? They cured inflation by not releasing the numbers. Hey, the guy was convicted of 34 counts of cooking the books. So who is actually surprised that he's now cooking the books? I'm not surprised. I think it's to be expected. Once a cheat, always a cheat. Once a fraud, always a fraud. If you're expecting transparency from your government, I got a bridge I can sell you. I'm telling you, if you're expecting something different, you're crazy. No, he's a fraud. He is cooking the books. We won't find out what actually happened to our economy in 2025 until this time next year, after the midterm elections. That's when the truth will eke out. All right, up in the house. Good to see you, brother. I thought you were taking vacation. Up yours, who cares? Our first guest star this happy Friday. Hey, you've worked hard. You deserve a vacation. Happy holidays to you. In case I don't see you at all next week. That's good. Hey, I love paid time off. I used to have a Christmas gig that I did back in Vegas. I think I did it 8 years in a row, where I would take PTO from my full-time job and then go make I think $400 or $500 a day at a seasonal job. Used to help pay for Christmas. What's going on in the UK? Our weather just flipped on a dime here. I swear to God, Thursday it was 40 degrees and rainy. It melted all the snow and left puddles of standing water everywhere. I just went out an hour ago to check my mail, and we got an inch of fresh snow, and it's only 18 degrees today. 40 yesterday, 18 today. That's Michigan for you. The UK reminds me of Colorado when I was there. It used to rain every afternoon. I should learn that stupid conversion from Celsius to Fahrenheit. Every time I think of it, I think, oh, I'm going to look up and figure out how to convert that. I never do. I don't know that I'm lazy. I think more like I just forget about it. 5 degrees Celsius does not sound good. I don't know what that converts to in Fahrenheit, but it don't sound good. So what's on your mind today, Up? As you're bracing for a vacation, what are your priorities today? What do you got to get done before you can go? And where are you going to go? Anywhere good? Oh, Okay, so 32 is 0. So you're 5 above that. How you doing on your substance abuse? Are you suffering from holiday depression? I'm not. I used to get a lot of depression in the winter when I first came back here from Vegas. Sometimes we go 2 weeks without any real sunlight. Oh, you got kicked out of rehab? That's not good. My whole thing with addiction over the years, it really boiled down to me just getting pissed off. Failure is not an option. It isn't. And it's not meaning that you're not trying hard enough. It just means that you're a normal human being. If at first you don't succeed, try again, right? All human beings do dangerous stuff. All human beings. That's normal. Dangerous is dangerous. It also depends on your perspective. Hey, as long as you're not drinking rubbing alcohol, you should be all right. Just remember that it is a poison. Any alcohol that you put in your body is a poison. In moderation, it's probably okay, but in an excess, it's probably not. Now, literature can't cover human behavior. Literature blames too much on peer pressure. I actually think it's the other way. My thing is you need more human beings to help you. Try positive reinforcements. Set your own program up and get a woman to give you a hand. Tell her, if I'm drinking, no sex. If I'm not drinking, sex every day, multiple times a day. Positive reinforcement. Pretty soon you'll quit drinking and just be having sex all day, every day. You won't want to drink if you've got a reward for not drinking. We have a lot of microbreweries. We got a lot of people that distill their own alcohol here in the United States. As long as you're getting it tested before you ingest it, you're fine. It's human nature to self-medicate, brother. That's just normal human behavior. Accept what you can't change. Well, you can sleep with men if you want. I'm just saying you got to have a very good reward for good behavior. Positive reinforcement. It doesn't have to be sex. It could just be companionship. Find something that you really like, that's really important to you and you enjoy doing, and reward yourself with it. I believe in you. You're going to get there. You're going to get to where you need to be eventually. If you're not getting there as fast as you would like, don't beat yourself up over it. You have great value. You'll get to where you need to be eventually. Sometimes we can't take giant leaps. Sometimes we have to take baby steps. I had a 20-year bout with alcohol that, I was blackout drunk, brother. Had no idea what I'd done the night before. I got pissed off waking up hungover, too hungover, one too many times for me. And that's when I drew a line and I said, never again. I'm not doing this to my body. I switched to marijuana. But I also had to change my actions. I had to stop going to the bars. I had to stop hanging out with some of my friends. Some of my friends were a bad influence on me. Didn't make them bad people, but I couldn't control myself when I was around them. I had the same thing after my accident with the opioids. That's how I ended up back in Michigan. When I was in Vegas and addicted to the opioids, all of my friends brought me pills on a daily basis. Here you go, Ghost. Here you go. I actually sold my furniture for pills. I was on the living room floor in a sleeping bag, and I had the TV. That was it. Everything else was gone. I traded it all for pills. In order to get out of that situation, I had to relocate back to Michigan. I had to get away from all my friends in Vegas because they were my suppliers. I had to go cold turkey in order to get off the opioids. And it was tough. And mentally, I was not in good shape. I was literally suicidal for 5 years after my accident. I looked at my future as being crippled, and I asked myself, do you want to be crippled for the next 30 years? It's a totally different lifestyle than the one that I was leading. Don't forget, I was a wild child. No one could control me. After the accident, after losing all my mobility, 100% of my life changed. Add to that the opioid addiction, I was in sorry shape. My brother saved my life. My brother took me into his home and hid me out. No contact with the friends that were supplying the drugs. No contact with anyone that would be a bad influence on me. Substance abuse is a joke once you get off of it. But when you're in it, it's serious as a heart attack. There ain't nothing funny about it. I was taking, what was it? I'm thinking 3,000 milligrams of Loratab. I was taking those probably 8 times a day. Very close to going too far. I think I was taking 180 pills a month. And then when I didn't have the prescription, I would just take anything. It's just an opiate derivative. A step down from oxycodone. But a step up from Tylenol, you know. But that's what, I remember I had a beautiful dining room table. It was a pub table, one of those high-rise ones with the high stools all the way around. I remember I traded those for 80 oxycodone. And I sat there on my couch and I thought it was a great deal. I justified it to myself. I said, oh, yeah, that's a marvelous deal. I didn't realize what I had done until all the furniture was gone. Okay. I was literally living on a sleeping bag in the middle of the living room floor. When you're ready to draw your line and end it, you will. But you need to reward yourself with something that you cherish, something that has great value to you. Short-term goals get smaller rewards. Long-term goals get huge rewards. And don't beat yourself up for failure. Beating yourself up, all that does is lower your self-worth, your feeling of value. You can't beat yourself up all the time. Sometimes you got to praise yourself. Sometimes you got to reward yourself. If you're not able to achieve your short-term goals, then maybe you need to lower the goals. I've always walked my own path. Just nowadays, I walk it with a cane. Well, maybe that's something you should work on while you're on vacation. Come up with some short term goals to get you to achieve what you want to achieve. Having put the alcohol down for a period of 30 years, I feel like now I can drink socially if I want to without it going to blackout status, without getting drunk. Happiness is not constant. Happiness is a moment in time. It doesn't last forever. You may be satisfied, but are you happy? Sometimes it's a fine line. Satisfied will get you by, but it's not going to get you ahead. Sometimes satisfied isn't good enough, in my opinion. As long as you got your wits about you and your addictions are not controlling your life, but your life is in control of your addictions, I look at a lot of things in life as a balancing act. I was looking at my own life back in the day, and I remember it was a fine line for me between good guy and bad guy. And I felt like I was walking that fence for a number of years. Now I feel like I'm off the fence and bad guy is no longer an option. The only option I have left is good guy. I was successful on the bad side. As long as you're on the good side now and you're not drinking yourself into an early grave, if you're not blacking out and unable to recount what happened yesterday, then maybe this is not a problem that you need to correct. That's worth celebrating. A lot of guys have real problems with PTSD based on what they did when they were in the military. My best friend has got bad PTSD. Not from the military. He was a cop. He was the first cop that ever arrested me. Been my friend for over 55 years. A good man. but he still has PTSD from the things he saw as a cop. You can't shake some of this stuff. He drinks, not to excess, but he drinks. I tried to get him to switch to marijuana, and he can't. It's never going to be his thing. I smoked the marijuana, and it doesn't get rid of my pain. And it doesn't get rid of my bad memories. But it does change my mental state and get me to not focus on those, to not care about them. You seem pretty lucid to me every time I have contact with you up. So I would say you probably don't have a problem unless you think you have a problem. Every human being has weaknesses. Every human being out there. As long as you don't think you're having a problem, you're probably not. You've probably got it under control. You seem happy to me. You seem stable to me. You seem normal to me. Now, I'm not perfect, but I consider myself perfect at reading people. Something I've done throughout my life. If your substance abuse was a problem, I would see you lashing out. I don't see you lashing out. I see you jovial, happy, in a good mood. Where's the negative? You know? I don't think, in my mind, I can't put you in the addict category. You might have a habit, but habitual is not addiction. I have habits, but I don't consider it an addiction. I can quit smoking anytime I want. I just don't want. Probably, I don't know, 10 years ago, I quit smoking cold turkey. Just on a whim. I didn't smoke a single cigarette for 5 months. Anytime I had a craving, I'd just eat something. Give myself a reward for, not smoking a cigarette. I'd have a ice cream sandwich. Just a small reward for not smoking. Cold turkey. I didn't need patches. I didn't need hypnosis. And I had been smoking for over 40 years. And I was a heavy smoker back then. I was smoking 3 packs a day. I I had a gut after 1 week without smoking. I put on 20 pounds and it all sat in my stomach. I wasn't in a gym or being, extra physically active. I wasn't doing cardio or anything like that. And it just sat there kind of like a basketball. I used to look at myself in the mirror and think, I look like I'm pregnant. Then one evening, I was with some friends in the bar, and I probably had a little too much to drink. I went into the restroom. I'm standing at the urinal. I looked down. I couldn't see my junk. And I'm like, what? I can't see. I couldn't. I walked out of that restroom. I walked straight to their cigarette machine in the bar, and I bought a pack and I started smoking. A week later, the belly was gone. And now I probably smoke 2 packs a day. And now I have an attitude when I go to the doctor and they say something about my smoking. I tell them, my money spends anywhere. I can replace you in a heartbeat. You need to shut up to me about the smoking. It was a matter of vanity. That's all it really boiled down to. It was my vanity. I had last Friday, I had a woman on that was chatting, and she said that she had double D's. And I told her, I said, well, pull them out of your armpit, put them in a slingshot. Gravity is a bitch, but it will take care of a lot of issues. Let's lay down flat and yeah. You got a good point there, Up. You're a good man. I don't think I'm as vain as I used to be. Well, I used to not wear glasses. Oh, Up, you're far from an idiot. Trust me on that. I had this buddy. He the most well-read person I ever met. Every book I named, he'd read. We'd be out golfing or something, or just sitting and playing a game of chess and having a conversation. And I'd tell him, I just read this book, da 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 da. And he says, oh, yeah, I read that 7 years ago. And his honest belief were that all people, all human beings were idiots until they proved themselves otherwise. I don't consider you an idiot. You play chess? That'll get my attention real quick. I have not played chess in 10 years. But I did have a 20-year span in my life that I went without losing a game. I get very competitive with chess. As long as I can smoke a joint, my brain loves the intricacy of the chessboard. I I literally love it. I get lost in it, and everything else in life just disappears, and I can focus on nothing but the board. And my mind gets me about 10 moves in advance. It's very captivating, which is why I have not played in a period of 10 years. I like to play a game. I don't like the clocks, the chess clocks. Can't stand those. I play a game in about 20 minutes time. I go for position domination, and then I use a mathematical formula when it comes to trading out pieces. I put a numerical value on every piece on the board. And it's just a numbers game. Once I get a mathematical advantage on you, you're done. I'll simply trade out. Remove all your threats that way. And if I have position and a mathematical edge, it gets quick from there. Well, that's usually the tease. I like to tease the player and make him think he can get my queen with a pawn. I use check to get the queen out of danger, and generally it ends in mate. My basic theory on chess is when I'm playing an unknown player, I give his bishops and knights a rating of 2.5 until I see his ability to use one. When I see his ability to use one is superior than his ability to use the other, I award the one he has the greater ability with a value of 3, and the one that he has the lesser value, a value of 2. The knight is the key piece. As far as I'm concerned, it's the most powerful tool in the chess arsenal. I know everyone likes the queen, but the queen draws a crowd. The knight slips in. Nobody really notices it. And if I tie my 2 knights together, you don't stand a chance. The knight, it's sneaky good. I enjoy chess a lot. I haven't played for 10 years, but last year I did buy a brand new chess set, and I actually have it sitting in the closet. I know I'm going to play again eventually. I did something a few years back. It was just hilarious. I went down to the Riviera Hotel. They had the United Chess Federation down there. They were having a big old tournament. There must have been a couple of thousand people there, maybe 3,000. And I walked in and I saw the main room, everybody sitting there playing with the clocks. Didn't interest me in the least. Yeah, I learned to play chess when I was 7. Guy took me out with the 5 great moves, and I couldn't handle the loss, so I had to study the game. It became an obsession of sorts. Yeah. There's a lot of similarities between a military action and a chess game. You can't send your queen out there alone. She's got to have a supporting staff. She's got to have backup. But I go down to this United Chess Federation thing and all these people, and I look over and I see a side room with about 10 people in it, and they've got empty seats and a bunch of chessboards set up and no clocks. I thought, well, I'll just hang out in there and I'll play a couple of games with a couple of people. It won't be no big deal. So I walked back out to the car and smoked a joint. Got real nice buzz. I come back in, I get into that side room and I sit there and I'm playing chess. And opponents come in and they go out, come in and go out. I'm not thinking anything of it, A couple hours later, my buzz was starting to wear off and I looked around. There were 500 people in that room. Unbelievable. No, I don't do the fool's game anymore. I get a little bloodthirsty. I like to get an opponent to the point where he feels he's beat, and then I offer to spin the board. I'll take over his pieces, he takes over mine. When you beat him after spinning the board, there's no greater victory. The key is his rooks. You got to leave his rooks when you're playing him. You got to leave him his rooks, and so when you spin the board, you can use his rooks to defeat yourself. It was fun. But I never lost that day down there, and all those Federation guys were trying to get me to sign up and join and all that. And I said, no, I'm just here playing on my day off. I'll see you guys around. And I left. I played, I don't know, 2, maybe 3 hours tops, as long as my buzz lasted. When I needed to get high again, I left. This is true. A good player, I need a 1-pawn advantage, plus I need to own 2 of the 3 center board positions. If I have a 1-pawn advantage in 2 out of the 3 center board positions, it's a breeze. I enjoyed chess a lot. But there again, it's the same thing. It can become an obsession. When the chess computer programs first came out, I had trouble shutting the game off and going in and going to bed. My brain didn't want to shut it down. I wanted to keep playing all night. There's a certain amount of obsession in all of life. I think that's how you get good at things. I think that's how you master things, is you must first become obsessed. Once you become obsessed, it's too late. There's no brakes. There's no way to stop unless you have self-control. But when the computer programs first came out, I thought, I'll never have to look for a chess partner again. I'll always just be able to throw in this disc and go. Exactly. Life experiences, that's the training ground to who we become in old age. It's like my friend, the cop that I was talking about earlier. Because of his work experience and interrogations and classroom studies and such, he's like a human lie detector test. He can tell if you're lying to him. You want to talk about bad calls? Let me tell you that the NFL referees, you probably don't know it in the UK, but we got some shit going on in the NFL with the referees. They're doing some shady business. It is not good. It's not good for the sport. They're making these bad calls that, they're making bad calls that are changing the outcome of the game, or even just changing the momentum of a game. And it's just wrong. And the NFL's doing nothing about it. They're doing nothing to correct it. Yeah. I agree. But since the NFL changed their policy and they've partnered up with the casino industry for the sports betting, it seems to be getting worse. From my own past experience, I used to see 4 or 5 games a year that looked suspicious. Now I see more like 25 games a year that seem suspicious. Yeah. Human beings and their greed strike again. I think it has to do with selfishness. I think selfish people have an issue controlling their greed. Personal opinion. It's the old I want this, I want that. I'll do whatever it takes to get it. Yeah, greed is not the answer. I think that's what it was with my divorces. I think my exes were all selfish and they wanted things for themselves. Every time I bought a house, I got a divorce. They got what they wanted. The Vegas upgrade program. They marry a guy and then cheat on him with a guy that makes more money than he does. And they just keep on going up and up and up. I talked to this woman one time. She was a retired cocktail waitress that liked to play the slots every day. I was working in a casino that dealt mostly with locals versus tourists. And I looked her up in the computer and she was losing $50,000 a year in the slot machines. So I spoke to her about it. She didn't care. She was a millionaire. She'd been married 12 times and cleaned out each guy along the way. She owned 25 rental properties. No, I do not gamble. If I want to bet you something, I'll bet you a nickel, 5 cents. Okay. Gambling is a fantasy come to life. I'm going to put $3 in this machine and I'm going to hit $1 million. You're dreaming of spending the $1 million before you ever win it. Okay? It's a fantasy. You're better off to save the money that you would gamble. There you go. That's a good line. A handshake does mean more than a dividend. The hardest part, okay, the hardest part of a human's life is separating fantasy from reality. You find a girl, you propose marriage. It's a fantasy it's a picture that you created in your mind. And you're instantly, as soon as we sign this contract, honey, we're going to live in fantasy land hereafter. It's not reality. I think the reason for it, seriously, is reality is harder than fantasy. So the easier path is to follow the fantasy. In my opinion. I don't have those fantasies of marriage and all that anymore. I live in a reality that I not all fantasies are goals. Some fantasies are an obsession. I think that's why people get addicted to gambling. They're obsessing over their fantasy. I would agree with that. Be happy with what you have. Appreciate what you have. I appreciate everything I have in my life. I actually appreciate life. I use some of my fantasies as an escape, like music, right? If I smoke a joint or smoke a bowl of some decent herb, I can put on some instrumental blues or some instrumental jazz and just escape. I see a lot of people, their fantasy life is more important than their real life. And that gets kind of scary. Oh, I got to tell people to like and subscribe, please. I'm trying to make that at the 1 hour mark. YouTube's sending me stickers telling me to tell people to like and subscribe. They're also telling me I should do shorts. I'm looking into the editing software, but editing doesn't interest me at all. It seems like work. I'll continue to look at it throughout the holiday season here. If I'm going to make any changes, it'll probably be by the first of the year. But I got to tell you, I'm pretty happy with the way the show's set up. I know we're not growing very fast, but we are growing. So I'm just going to be patient. The only thing that's got me concerned is it's my understanding that I have to get 4,000 viewing hours within a calendar year. I don't know why it's got to be within a calendar year, but so be it. I'll follow the rules, you know. I think I have 220 viewing hours in the first 4 months of the show. That's a long way from 4,000. But I'm not on any of the other sites, you know. I'm not on any of the other social media sites, so. And I'm not putting out any other videos. I'm just strictly doing the live stream. Anthony Joshua. I lost all respect for Jake Paul with the Mike Tyson fight. Plain and simple. Anthony Joshua is a real athlete. Jake Paul appears to be an actor. To me, he's just playing a role, filling a spot, trying to earn a paycheck. Well, yeah, we all got egos to one extent or another, even me. You follow boxing a lot? I met a number of boxers while I was in Vegas. A number of them. My oldest son was heavily involved in martial arts. Youngest son, I think he stopped at a brown belt and then stopped going to class. But the older son, last I knew, he was fifth degree black belt in Shaolin Kempo. He went to China a few times and studied with the monks. Brought back some videos that were, let me tell you, they were awesome. I saw some crap. And I saw my son break a stack of 5 bricks with a 1-inch punch. Looked impressive to me. I think sports would be better without the money. He brought back a video, showed some of these Shaolin monks defying gravity like you wouldn't believe. They traded the monks. The Americans would have to teach them something in exchange for the monks to teach them certain things. One year he taught them basketball, and these guys were running on the walls of the gymnasium like gravity wasn't a real thing. Then they were doing finger punches on trees where the finger goes, yay far into the tree and just leaves the hole. Don't poke me, mister. And I think the boy, I think he's learned a foil sword technique. It's some kind of a sword that throughout their movements with it, they can make noise and crack like thunder. Well, that's what I used to tell the kids when they were in sports. If you're moving fast enough, gravity does not apply to you. Acoustic metal. Hey, they got some new stuff, they've got metallic foam now. I'm not sure what they're going to make with it, but I think it was down in the Carolinas, either North or South Carolina. They got some factory that they created a metallic foam. Acoustic metal. I'm not sure. Does that mean that the sound cannot go through the metal, or does it go through the metal? Okay. Well, I'm thinking that, like the pyramids in Egypt, those 250,000 pound blocks of granite. I think that they must have been using some type of vibration or sound in order to move those. I know sound has properties because they're using it to bust up kidney stones inside a human being. Does speed make a noise? Or is that the noise coming from the propellant? I'm just thinking that, they must have used vibration in some way, shape, or form in order to move those huge blocks of stone. And some of them are 300 foot up in the air. And I can't believe that they did that with ramps and human strength. Oh, kind of like the sound barrier when a jet makes a sonic boom. That's interesting. Well, look at flashbang grenades. A flashbang grenade can disorient a human. I thought light moved faster than sound waves. I know that from shooting a bow and arrow, I know that an arrow makes noise. But the noise comes from the arrow. The arrow can hit the deer before the deer can hear the arrow. Yeah. Well, there's parts of vibration that I think can be very soothing. Kind of like when you put a baby in a swing to stop them from crying, the motion, that in itself is a vibration, isn't it? I always think of like the thunder of a stampede of bison vibrates the ground. Yeah, that's quite interesting. Wow. That's interesting. Well, if that's the case, why do we gotta, if somebody has a heart attack, we're zapping them with electricity to stimulate that heart muscle. Why can't we zap them with sound to stimulate that heart muscle? Yeah, we do need energy. I'm convinced that there has to be something to do with static electricity. Static electricity specifically. We know that it makes noise. We know that it has a physical impact. It's a power source. Oh man, I wanted to call you Dr. Up. No, I'm thinking a static electrical charge. When the lightning cracks, it's got a sound. When you rub your feet on the carpet and walk up and poke somebody and give them a little shock on the elbow, it's got a sound. Can you duplicate the sound and make the electrical spark? Now, we could smoke a few bowls and delve into that. Sound has got power. Never heard of a Van de Graaff generator. It generates static electricity. I'll look it up. I came up with a theory probably a year, 2 years ago that static electricity speeds up the desalinization of water. No? Well, I'm convinced that the Earth is going to have to find a efficient way to desalinize water. It would seem like they should be able to come up with some other way to get the salt out of water. Because we have a shortage of fresh water that's up and coming for this planet. Different parts of the planet are being affected by it now. I know Iran is running out of fresh water. I would think that all mineral deposits could be found on the ocean floor. It would only make sense. I know that gold is only in certain areas of the land, but I know that more of the planet is covered by a surface of water than it is land. Well, the rate the gold price is going, that might not be the case for too long. It would seem that the precious metals are in shorter supply. And they might be forced to extract them from the sea or the silt at the bottom of the ocean. The heavier metals don't float in water, they sink, right? Yeah, I like that you got your crown. I like that. I like that crown there. That's what we need to do. We need to barter with Mother Nature. We'll stop polluting the air if you give us all the gold out of the ground. It's a fair trade-off, right? They used to have a tropical fish tank. I used to breed fish. I had a fish store that I could barter with. I'd have a bunch of like guppy babies and I'd bag them up and I'd take them down there and trade them for a different breed or whenever you can do business with a business and not have to use cash when you can barter, you avoid paying the taxes, right? Oh, I know our electric cost is going up because they're building all these AI data centers. For years, they're telling us electricity is limited. There's only so much to go around. We don't want you to use it during peak hours. And now all of a sudden they're saying, well, it's no big deal. We're just going to use these build these data centers that use 10 times more electricity than they should. And then they're raising our electric bills. Mine is ridiculous. It goes up every year. I'd say it probably went up 5% last year alone. Well, they're doing some tricky legal maneuvers here in the U.S. about these AI data centers. They're trying to limit state restrictions on it. They're passing federal laws that restrict the laws that states can pass on AI. Seems ridiculous to me. A state that's slammed with human population should not be adding to their electric capacity or subtracting from their electric capacity if it's full of human beings. Why shouldn't that data center be put into a state that has no human beings or many fewer human beings? I think that human beings should have priority over an AI data center. Personal opinion. Well, I think they're blowing AI out of proportion at this point. I don't think it's capable of doing everything that they say yet. I'm not saying that it can't be there in 10 years, but I'm saying right now, your AI has no morals. It has no ethics. Yeah. Well, have you seen some of these dolls that they're making in Asia? They're making them real pretty, okay? And you can poke their skin and it looks like skin. It's some weird stuff, man. Did you see that movie, I, Robot? Where the inventor has to get the robot to kill him. I thought that was a real interesting take on AI. I think it was Will Smith, a Will Smith movie. Yeah, I got face recognition experience. Every time I walk into a casino, I pop up on their security screens. I was in that industry for 33 years. Yeah, they got drones that can fly into the roof of a car and take out the person in the passenger seat only. The driver and the people in the back seat will still be fine, but the drone will slice and dice. I'm not sure what they call it. I heard, but I don't remember the name. Like blade cutter or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, the drone flies in, hits the passenger seat only, and kills that guy instantly. And supposedly leaves everyone else in the car to go about their business. They can invent more ways to kill a human being than Carter has liver pills, I'm telling you. I wish they'd channel their energies in a different direction. I'm just tired of people killing other people. We are. Yeah. I was doing research on a book that I was trying to write, it was called Understanding Us. It was going to explain human behavior, and I'm researching human behavior, and I found out that war is normal human behavior. It doesn't fit into abnormal category. It fits into the normal category. To war is normal human behavior. Scared the hell out of me. I thought it was abnormal human behavior, but it's not. Yes, within war, there are some abnormal human behaviors that come out, they rise. But war itself is normal human behavior, and that's just disgusting. In a society that has rules against violence, war is normal human behavior. I've been thinking about firing up an old Zippo or a Zippo lighter. I'm just tired of the disposables. Sometimes they're pink You know, my father bought me a gold Zippo a couple of years back, and I have it sitting here on my TV stand in a display. And I was thinking all I need to do is to go buy some lighter fluid and I can fire that mug up. I used a Zippo when I was 13, 14, 15, in that range. And then I switched to these disposable things and I'm fed up with them. They always run out. And I have trouble with the disposable lighters when I'm outdoors in the wind. A Zippo worked in the wind. I know. That's the best thing about me becoming crippled is I moved back here and I get to spend more time with my father. I cherish every time I get to visit him. I hug him hard every time too. Yeah. Well, I was thinking I might eliminate the bowl too and go back to rolling joints. If I buy some decent papers, spend money. I'm not talking about zigzags. I'm talking about, something that's biodegradable, like hemp papers or something like that. Well, you can use a Zippo for a bowl. You just got to not mind burning your fingers. Oh, I disagree. Them papers have chemicals in them. If you're rolling joints and putting them in papers that the paper was made with formaldehyde, then you're smoking formaldehyde. I don't think that's good for you, in my opinion. I remember the 70s, they came out with candied papers. Strawberry flavored. Who knows what all chemicals were in those, brother? I mean, who knows? No, I've been doing the pre-rolled once in a while, but they're too harsh. They're putting chemicals on the weed in the dispensary to try to get the THC content up higher. All I need's a big red nose, right? I don't know. The next time I'm down at the cigarette store, I'm going to take a look and see what kind of papers they got available, and I'll probably buy some, and then I'll just go and I got a little, the little bitty rolling machines. I'm probably going through, I would say, 2 of these every month, you know? And they cost almost $1 a piece now. They used to be cheap. Ain't nothing cheap no more. Yeah, when I was 12, 13, you know. That's not a good buzz. That's not a good high. For many, many years, I did not smoke pot at all. I only wanted to do chemicals, acid, mescaline, speed, you know. And then I switched the other way. Now I don't want the chemicals. I just want the pot. It's like all the preservatives they're putting in our food nowadays. We're eating so many chemicals. That crap can't be good for you. Yeah, they do. They're spraying some shit on it. I get my pot. Well, I used to get my pot from my brother because he used to grow. And he didn't put any chemicals on his at all. And I probably got, I don't know, maybe a gallon of it left. You know, like two quart pitchers. That's probably what I got left. And that's all I've really been smoking for years. I do have a neighbor that grew some, and I recently gave him $40 for I don't know, an ounce or something. My brother grew indica, and the neighbor is growing sativa. So I wanted the sativa to help with book writing. Sativa has got mental stimulation, which I need for the book writing. But the indica is more of a body high, and it makes me ignore my leg pain better. But I do like a good sativa. If I go and buy a pre-roll from the dispensary, it's always going to be a sativa. It just mentally it gets the neurons firing, and my imagination can go nonstop. It's like taking a governor off a car. Now all of a sudden it can go wide open, you know. No, I cannot. A short answer. They have not changed the laws here. Federal law prohibits me from mailing marijuana. That's federal law too. There's still some things in our society that don't make any sense. Last year, I went online and I ordered some seeds. They mailed them to me. Came right through the mail. To order a seed through the mail is not illegal, but to send a bud through the mail is illegal. Explain that to me, Lucy. Okay? It makes no sense. I tried to grow, and I have a black thumb, I guess. I can't grow. Yeah, that sounds normal, right? Oh, shoot. I got to start winding the show down. Fridays always go fast, brother. The show's name is Afternoon Chat. I'm your host, Ghost Mostly. Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, a free show. Today's guest star, Up Yours, Who Cares, is a great friend of the channel. Highly regarded. I believe in giving kudos where kudos are due. I'm a believer. I believe in ghosts. I've seen some things, my brother. While you're on vacation, jump in and we'll talk ghost stories one day. I've got a few. I had one. There's a town in Colorado called Cripple Creek. The whole town in the early 1900s burnt down over a 2-day period, and the entire town is full of ghosts. We're going to get out of here for the weekend. I do got to ask you to like and subscribe the channel. It will help us with the algorithm. I want you guys to know how much I appreciate you. I know the show's off to a slow start, but it's okay. We're going to be patient. We're going to get to where we need to be eventually. This is an inclusive channel where everyone is welcome. It's never going to be an exclusive club. SP Witter, back in action. Good to see you, brother. Nice to see you back, but we're closing down the show for the weekend. We'll be back Monday at 3. and everyone is welcome. This is a free show. There's no midstream ads, no sponsors. I'm not chasing you down trying to tackle your wallet. There's no upsell. This show is and always will be 100% free. I guarantee it. The people in the chat are the actual stars of this show. They determine what we talk about. There's no script. There's no set topic. The only thing you can do wrong on this channel is not have a good time. We're not here to chastise people. We're here to make friends. That being said, I'm your host, Ghost Mostly. I appreciate all the viewers. I appreciate all the subscribers. I'll never ask you for any money. Tell your friends. Finally, a TV show that doesn't want money. Gosh, what's this world coming to? SP Witter, you showed up late, but you showed up. Kudos where kudos are due, brother. I do appreciate you. Come see me on Monday. As far as the weekend, I'm going to ask you, be nice to everybody. Be kind. Respect one another. I honestly believe that all that niceness, all that kindness, all that respect will come back to you tenfold. Personal opinion. That's all I can offer you. One guy's view from one end of his couch. All that said, come see us on Monday. Have a safe and happy weekend. And for those of you that are celebrating Christmas next Thursday, Merry Christmas. I'll see you guys. Have a great weekend. Bye.